Hey guys, this video we're going to be checking out the Eachine QX95S. This is an updated version of the QX95 that I reviewed a pretty long time ago actually, more than 6 months ago I believe. But they've updated this with an all-in-one board that has basically it's a brushed board with a built-in receiver, and that actually makes it lighter and smaller, so they have a different frame here, single board. Same 8.5 by 20 motors. I believe these are a little bit more powerful. I don't know if you guys can see on the camera, but the color is different. They're not silver. They're more like a gunmetal color. So I think these motors are definitely have a little more power. We got a buzzer there. We have an all-in-one camera here, 48 channel camera VTX combo. This is I you'll see in the flight footage later. I think this camera has a problem. I don't know if this is going to be a problem for all the cameras, but maybe mine's just defective. There's a lot of video noise that gets through from the, I guess from the board here for the motors and the FETs. Shows up as video noise when you throttle up, you get noise and lines in the video. That should not be happening. That usually means, and I've seen this on other models with brush motors and brushless motors, there's something up with the regulator on the all-in-one camera here. So um, not sure if that's just my model or if it's going to be all of them, but typically it just means that the camera is got a problem, and it just might be mine. I'm pretty sure that other ones will probably be okay, but just wanted to let you know that you're aware of that, because if you see those lines in the video, it's from this camera, and it's probably from the regulator. But anyway, the board itself here has got a all-in-one. It's got the Betaflight OSD. It's got a built-in receiver. I think the target's an Omnibus F3. It does come in 3 flavors: Fly Sky, Free Sky, and DSMX. And the receiver is built in. You do have a little bind button right there. And I believe all 3 of the boards have bind buttons for binding to your transmitter, so it's pretty simple. And included the instructions are actually pretty decent. So my example is the Fly Sky version, so they show you how to set it up with the Fly Sky radio, shows you where the bind button is, and gives you instructions on how to do the binding with your transmitter. So pretty sure the equivalent instructions for the Free Sky and Spectrum versions are probably going to be the same. But the documentation is very good. It shows you how it's configured in Betaflight Configurator, and also all the outputs on the board. So very, very good manual. In terms of the battery and the charge, is kind of an interesting combo here. I haven't seen these before. This is actually a high volt battery, so it's a 450 kind of stick style. It says it's 30C. I'm not sure about that, but it's an okay battery. It's got a micro loci connector, and the charger is also USB with a micro loci. And this one can, as you can see here, does charge up to 4.35 volts. So it does do high volt battery. So it's kind of, I don't think I've seen this before in an Eachine, so it does help in terms of the flight performance at the very beginning of the battery, and also it doesn't sag as much at the beginning as well, so you have a little bit more power. Okay, so here is the weight measurement, coming in at about 42 grams, so I do believe that is lighter than the original QX95. So in terms of the software setup, it does come with Betaflight 3.2 already on there. I think it was 3.2.1 if I'm not mistaken. I didn't flash anything, and I did change the PIDs a little bit, and you'll see that in part of the flight demo itself, you'll see the on-screen display where I changed the PIDs. So if you wonder what the PIDs are, just scroll down to that part of the video and you'll see the PIDs. So I did have to raise the P and the D gains quite a bit to get it to fly the way I like. But it flies fairly well, and I didn't do any of the flashing and configuring other than what's stock, so what you see is what you get. So you're probably wondering, well, why would I want to buy a brushed model when there's so many brushless models out there? And I think it comes down to basically the price. This is pretty inexpensive. It comes, motors, battery, charger, comes with a built-in receiver, and it's like $60. So all you have to do is add basically just a transmitter. So if you already have a transmitter, it's just $60 to get into this kind of a brushed micro flyer if you're into flying this indoors or outdoors. And it does fly, it has pretty good power, so it does fly pretty well outdoors even in a little bit of wind. But I think that this would fly really well inside, like a larger indoor setting, like a warehouse, for example. And yeah, if you're not sure about micros, want to get into it, brushed might not be a bad way to go, because it is much more inexpensive compared to brushless. Something like this equivalent power and setup, I think you'd have to look at something like the Mantis 85, which I haven't reviewed, and I'm not sure if I'm going to or not, but That one's about $100, so it's about $40 more than this. But of course, that is brushless, and it's going to have more power. It's going to give you a little more options in terms of flying, etc. So it really kind of matters up to you as to whether or not you want to spend the extra $40 to go brushless over the brushed. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and roll some flight footage. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.